In the episode titled Familiar from the 2016 new season of the acclaimed series The X-Files, we encounter a disturbing central character, Mr. Chuckle Teeth. Once a protagonist of a children's television program who, despite his terrifying appearance, is enormously loved by children. In the peaceful and somewhat secluded town of Eastwood, Connecticut, the plot unfolds with palpable intensity. On what appears to be an ordinary morning, little Andrew is engrossed in play at a park with his favorite doll, a replica of Mr. Chuckle Teeth. Humming the tune of the children's show, his innocence is abruptly shattered when he notices a towering real-life figure of the character emerging from the adjacent lush forest. Despite the child's semi-articulated warnings to his mother, she is too distracted by a phone call to notice the looming danger. The seemingly crucial call steals all her attention, leaving Andrew unprotected and vulnerable. The plot thickens as, driven by curiosity and affection for his favorite TV character, Andrew begins to follow the figure almost hypnotically into the depths of the woods. The atmosphere grows increasingly tense as the mother, realizing her son's absence, initiates a frantic and distressed search. The viewer's heart freezes perceiving the escalating sense of danger as little Andrew, naive and trusting, continues calling after the character who steadily recedes deeper into the dark, dense forest. Tragedy strikes its climax as we discover that the endearing children's character is, in reality, a malevolent entity. In the following scene, we can see Officer Eggers, Andrew's father, joining the search, which concludes later with the finding of the small boy, a discovery that leaves a bitter lump in the viewer's throat. The ending is brutal, leaving an indelible mark in the memory of those who witnessed the final scene with Andrew's remains, an innocent victim of an unknown predator. This is what drives Agents Mulder and Scully to investigate what truly happened to the boy. They theorize that sinister forces might be responsible for his brutal death. Villagers suspect that Andrew was killed by a hybrid animal, a combination of a wolf and a coyote known to inhabit the area. This theory is bolstered by the fact that this type of creature has been present in the area for some time, prompting the Eastwood police to adopt this line of investigation. While examining the body, Scully discovers a peculiar mark on the child's ankle, which catches her attention. Mulder, on the other hand, chooses to question a friend of Andrew's mother, named Anna, and her little daughter Emily, who witnessed the boy's disappearance. During his visit, Mulder notices Anna owns books on witchcraft and the occult. Meanwhile, Emily, who is watching television, reveals she saw Mr. Chuckle Teeth in the forest the day Andrew was murdered. As the episode progresses, it is revealed that Mr. Chuckle Teeth is a demonic entity that can take various forms to lure its victims toward a violent and brutal death. Initially, it adopts the form of a popular television character, appearing as an oversized ventriloquist doll with a black suit, formal shoes, and a disproportionately large head compared to its body. Most disturbing is its face, with enormous eyes, a mad expression, and a wide smile revealing large, visible teeth, granting it a malevolent appearance. Its look is reminiscent of early cartoons and vintage television shows, being black and white with the sole exception of its red bow tie. Although this character is beloved by the children who comprise its audience, many adults find it disturbing and sinister. Interestingly, the demon never speaks, a characteristic that series fans believe it uses to draw more children in. Its movement is eerie and unnatural, seemingly dancing all the time, mimicking its behavior on the children's program. In another of its transformations, the demon takes on the form of a massive wolf, described as a hellhound, allowing it to hunt its victims with ease. Likewise, the demon can take the form of some town inhabitants in an attempt to deceive its potential victims. In another manifestation, it adopts the form of Biggle Tiggles, another mascot of a children's television program bearing a likeness to a Teletubby but of a malevolent and demonic nature. As Mulder and Scully's investigation progresses, they encounter a tragedy. Emily is murdered by the entity, which lures her by transforming into Biggle Tiggles and then attacks in its lupine form. Upon discovering the little girl's body surrounded by a circle of salt, the agents begin to suspect that someone in the town has been practicing witchcraft, and that it was this practice that brought the demon into the physical plane. The mystery's thread tightens further when it's revealed that Sheriff Strawn, father of Emily and husband to Anna, had been conducting an extramarital affair with Diane, the wife of Officer Rick and mother to Andrew. Strong, riddled with guilt and fear, had attempted to sidetrack the investigation by tampering with the crime scenes using salt. believing that his own sins had summoned the demon, which was now punishing his transgressions by murdering the children. However, Mulder and Scully unearth that the town's history is deeply rooted in witchcraft, and that various locations have been used for rituals to summon demonic entities and hellish spirits. Mr. Chuckle Teeth doesn't merely limit itself to murdering children, it also succeeds in killing Diane, who, after an argument with the sheriff, experiences a traffic accident trying to avoid an apparition of the child on the road. In an escalation of violence, the demon deceives the sheriff into killing Rick and eventually executes the murder of the sheriff himself, appearing as a wolf to attack him while he searches for Diane in the forest. The episode concludes, revealing an even more astonishing twist. Although the sheriff had been partially responsible for the tragedies, it wasn't his infidelity that brought the demon into the world. In reality, it was his wife, Anna, who, tired of her husband's infidelities, had resorted to witchcraft to summon the demon and exact revenge upon him. In a terrible turn of events, the witch Anna witnesses how her attempt to curse her husband spins into tragedy, with the invoked demon directing its wrath not towards him but towards their own children. The demon, adopting the form of the fearsome Mr. Chuckle Teeth, unleashes a wave of violence that strikes at the heart of her family, claiming the lives of those dearest to her husband, the sheriff. In a desperate attempt to rectify her mistake, Anna tries to undo the curse, but the price she pays is steep, as her body is consumed by flames in an act of spontaneous combustion. Mr. Chuckle Teeth, however, is not so easily defeated. Although the witch perishes, and it seems the violence has come to an end, there are ominous signs that the demonic entity remains active. FBI agent Scully finds a black magic book, owned by Anna, surprisingly intact after the tragic event. It is handed over to the police as she and her partner, Mulder, conclude their investigation. Although Scully is eager to leave the town of Eastwood in Connecticut, a disquieting reminder of the continuing entity's presence emerges in a final image. A carousel in the park, a place of innocent play, begins to move on its own, a silent, yet potent signal that Mr. Chuckle Teeth still lurks in the shadows. This demonic being, an intricate weave of black magic and pure evil, possesses powers that transcend human understanding. Its immortality allows it to resist any attempts at destruction, limiting options to confront it to exorcism rituals alone. Its presence, marked by supernatural abilities and a warped will that extends beyond the summoner's wishes, provides it with a terrifying advantage over humans. Although not omniscient or omnipotent, its connection to the underworld endows it with forces beyond human imagination. It needs to be invoked and directed, but once released, it can unleash chaos and destruction with almost complete freedom, manipulating reality at will, and assuming frightening forms to fulfill its mission. The brain behind this character, Benjamin Van Allen, drew inspiration from slightly unsettling figures present in children's shows, specifically citing Mr. Nosebonk from the BBC's The Big Show as a direct influence. Despite being a figure from a children's show, Mr. Nosebonk carries an appearance that veers toward the sinister, a trait that Van Allen wished to replicate in the X-Files. Mr. Chuckle Teeth, therefore, is not merely a nightmare creature pulled from the weave of a creative mind, but a representation of childhood terror taken to the extreme, combined with the adult tragedy of ill-conceived decisions and heart-wrenching consequences. As the town's residents assume roles of judges and executioners, lynching an innocent man with a dark past, Mr. Chuckle Teeth becomes an incarnation of their worst fears, leading them to commit horrendous acts. The monster, thus, becomes more than a physical entity, transforming into a mirror of the darkness within the human soul, demonstrating that, in its presence, the true monsters may well be the humans themselves. In a twist of cruel irony, the demonic figure is not the true antagonist of the story. It is merely a facilitator of the evil contained within the town's inhabitants, a dark reflection of their own sins and wickedness that, once unleashed, know no bounds or control. Dear friends and followers, we come to the end of this eerie and unsettling journey through the story of one of the most disconcerting characters we have seen in the X-Files, none other than Mr. Chuckle Teeth. Through this analysis, we have unraveled the mysteries surrounding this demonic entity that sowed terror in the tranquil town of Eastwood. From its creation inspired by children's characters that tread the thin line between the childish and the sinister, to its on-screen portrayal that has undoubtedly left us with an indelible mark of terror and awe. But beyond the fear that this character has generated, Mr. Chuckle Teeth invites us to reflect on the consequences of our actions, on the human evil that often surpasses any fiction. It shows us a mirror where the truly terrifying are not monsters born from black magic, but the evil actions that humans are capable of executing. Will this entity of darkness re-emerge in future episodes? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, its legacy of terror will linger in the memory of the series fans for a long time. Before we say goodbye, I'd like to hear your thoughts. What impacted you the most about Mr. Chuckle Teeth? Would you like to see it reappear in future episodes? Let me know all your impressions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest content. We love hearing from our viewers, so please leave a comment and share your ideas for future videos. Thanks for your support, and we can't wait to see you again in our next video.